Hi, friends. Hello, my name is Ty Gold, Alchemist, New Earth Mentor, and I am so grateful for all of you New Earth pioneers and explorers who might show up here on this live stream or who have access to the replay. I love this time of year. We're closing out chapters. Hello. We're closing out chapters. This is the season for saying goodbye to so many things in 2021. And right about now, lots of people start thinking about the next year, 2022, and all those new beginnings. Hey, make sure that to make sure I can see your name, you have to click on the little link somewhere above my head, I think, so that it shows your name. I'm using StreamYard so that I can live stream across multiple platforms. And the one contingency is I need you to click on the link if you want me to know who you are. Otherwise, it just shows me Facebook user. Yeah, thank you. So I love this time of year. It's very much a hibernation phase for me. I do a lot of reflecting. I have a lot of downtime, but I also start pondering the next year ahead. I posted something on my Facebook page the other day asking people about their theme words. Has anybody been getting kind of like the sensation, the vibration of the theme word that's coming to you for the new year? I always have one. Last year was expansion. Definitely was an expanding year in all aspects of my being. And this year, the vibration that's kind of been eking in the door for me is actually family. And family means so much to me. It's kind of one of my joy zones, pleasure zones, quality time, love languages. It's just so, I'm really excited about family being the theme for this year. So I'm curious, have any of you gotten kind of a theme word for the start of 2022? What you're going to be experiencing or setting your sights on or your intentions for? Definitely feel free to share in the comment section. I'd love to hear what you guys have been picking up on. The new earth frequencies, the new earth way of doing things is all about intention. So somebody else, it looks like, has gotten expansion. Well, hallelujah. I just came off the back of that one. And what do I want to share with you about that? I think if you don't mind me sharing, in my hindsight, my reflection of expansion being my theme year, and of course it may hit everybody differently. But what I could share with you about that is everywhere that I had like constriction or was limiting myself or was limiting like my own potential and growth or was holding myself back. I became very aware of it this year. And now it's so much in my awareness, maybe where I was like exerting control. Now I know enough to start applying the tools and the methods to remedy it. But definitely lots of growth. I expanded in all facets, relationships, monetarily, the amount of lives I've been able to touch, the amount of souls I've been able to connect with. It's been a really a year where I broadened a lot of horizons. So it's interesting that several of you already have the whispers of that conversation coming in. So keeping that in mind, I'm going to be sharing an alchemy session with you guys today, and you can take as much or as little part of it as you want to. The divine did ask me to stand, so I'm going to kind of be moving and dancing around a little bit. And the reason for that is because the divine's asking me to share a very high vibrational frequency, very unique code with you guys today. And honestly, until I got the download a few days ago, I hadn't heard of this code or frequency before being shared. I'm not saying nobody does. I just hadn't heard of it. And so much that I needed the divine to explain it to me. Hi, Fazila. Thanks for being on. So this new earth code is actually called the Omega code. It is a Christ consciousness, or what I like to call it, comes from my North Star, my source creators coding. And the Omega code, I sat with it for a few days because the divine was like dropping this in, the intention of this in little morsels over several days. And I immediately went into my like human brain to assess this connotation around Omega. And I'm like, well, surely that must be like the divine feminine aspect to Alpha. The divine told me to go research it. And I realized that the Omega code is a frequency for stops. And I sat with this for a couple of days. So I'm going to be providing this beautiful tool in this alchemy session with you all and teaching you how to utilize it. But I first want to explain why you would want to. Because in New Earth, this New Earth paradigm that the, who is this? Omega code, been feeling our way through this. Yes, awesome, great. Okay, so based on the divine's guidance and what I've understood, what I've channeled, we are in constant creation mode. Our thoughts are manifesting very rapidly in the new earth paradigm. And I want to congratulate you all for paying more attention to that and focusing on your desires and your wants and the frequency of your embodiment and really alchemizing who you aim to be and how you show up in the world. But the way the divine explained this to me is because our foot is so often on the gas pedal and we tend to be focusing on where we're going and how we want to show up, sometimes to create, we must pause to do something different. So tell me if that resonates. Tell me if that makes sense to you. We are in constant creation mode, but the divine says that sometimes we need to stop creating, to pivot, change direction, and to go into a new direction. Does that resonate? Yes, yes. Oh, good. Kendra, I'm glad this is resonating with you. Thanks for, replying back to me. Good, good, awesome. So this Omega code totally makes sense. Great. This Omega code that's being offered today, I don't want you to be afraid of it. I don't think it's something to be afraid of. I think if we utilize, if we utilize this stop, this pause, it allows us to reevaluate things, to take a look at things. And Creator Source God explained to me that we can use this Omega frequency when we want to let go of something, when we want to end resistance around something, when we want to stop a particular pattern or behavior. Maybe it's preventing us from being successful because it's very difficult to lean forward and ahead when we're still tethered behind. And so the Creator Source God is going to give us access to this Omega code today. And I'm going to show you how to utilize it in your physical body and in your subconscious mind. So you're going to go through a bit of a healing session today. And if you're in a space where you would like to stand up and move around a little bit, it might be beneficial to you. And if you're watching on the replay, you're just going to, you can just participate along when you tune into this. One of the things that the divine asked me to ask you all was to take this opportunity to show up and declare what it is, something that you would like to end, quit, stop, be rid of today, so that you can find yourself being more successful after doing this alchemy session. with your desires, with your goals for 2022, with that theme that's showing up for you. So most of you are anonymous in my chat box right now because I'm using this StreamYard session, and you're more than welcome to use that to your advantage. If you'd like to put something, it's a moment to be vulnerable and transparent and commit to something by putting it in writing. Is there anybody who'd like to share with me something that you would like to have alchemized today, that you would like to leave behind and be rid of? There is a chance that you may receive some guidance when I step into channeling mode. Great, thank you. It just says Facebook user, self-doubt, hard work, and money blocks. So I'm going to write this down. These are great. I'm going to assume that this is going to serve the greater good of the replay viewers and anybody else who is at a whisper quiet mode of releasing. Anybody else want to share something or some things they'd like to let go of, cease, be rid of, so that they can let go of the tether from the past and move forward? Beautiful. Addiction to sugar. I've been battling this one myself. Modifying this one myself, the divine says. Fear and vaping. Thank you for being transparent and vulnerable. And you're just Facebook user for me too. Miss Kendra. Fear of not being wanted by the collective. Oh, you're going to make me cry. My voice got so shaky. Not being wanted by the collective. I'm going to put that down as being accepted for who you truly are. Not being wanted. Your awareness around that is amazing, though. The fact that you've already tapped in on that vein, Kendra, means you're like this close to alchemizing it. Not being accepted and valued. That's how I'm going to translate that, if that's okay with you. I know yours is very specific, Kendra, but I even think we can get a general statement that will serve and honor other. It will be a healing for more than just you. Oh, the female collective and you. Beautiful. I really appreciate you guys allowing me to provide this alchemy. Look at all these: procrastination, fear. To provide this alchemy session today, I'm going to be teaching you some new earth magic tools, some beautiful things that one of them is grid work that the Arcturians have taught me. We're going to be using all kinds of wizardry and magic, so I really hope you stay on here. Negative people, guys and girls. A lot of my spirit messengers have already learned how to do grid work, but I think it's always fun to go over it again, and it can't be used too often. Ooh, picking the wrong guys, not feeling good enough in the workplace or for men. Love this. I mean, I'm not loving it for you, but I'm loving that we're going to alchemize this and put a stop to it. Picking the wrong guys. That one feels like such a vulnerable share, you guys. I'm so appreciating your courage. Not feeling good enough. Aw, you're welcome, Kendra. And visibility of my work and myself in a big platform. Love it, Fazila. Visibility. Powerful. That one feels really powerful. Of my work and myself. Miss Christine, thank you. Feeling invisible in the world. Oh, gosh. You guys are giving Source so much to alchemize. This is great. In the world. Ooh, so much primed and ready for this. You guys haven't thought about this at all, have you? Okay, so are we ready to create? I'm going to give you guys just a minute. Some of you may want to get a drink of water. When I go into what I like to call theta and start activating, people start to feel it pretty quickly. The heat, the buzzing, like hot flashes or shakes. This is backwards. And I just kind of want to put you on notice right now that this may happen for you, and kind of make sure you're prepared for that. Does anybody have any questions? Ooh, Fazila's got more. Family drama, love. This one fits for my theme word. I'm going to leave that behind. Making more money than I have ever before through my healing work. This is the new beginning of what you're wanting to create. So what do we want to let go of? The divine says you're going to need to let go of sacrificing yourself. Ooh, the divine says you're going to need to let go of seeing your contribution as mediocre. I know I'm yelling, but it just feels so powerful. I'm sorry. Woo. Does that resonate for you, Fazila? So the modalities that I use, for those of you who are not familiar with me, the divine basically taught and trained me. I would say 95% of what I've been instructed by the divine. There was a period of time during my training, during my tutelage by Creator, by my guardian angels, where they would send me to a workshop because I was having a hard time believing that what they were teaching me was real. So they would send me to a workshop that basically validated what I was taught in the time before. So I have been practicing intuitive since 2012. That's basically when the divine knocked on my doorstep and completely changed my life over. I went through a period of time of being called Ty the Spirit Messenger because I was really anchored in providing divine guidance. And honestly, I was hiding from the healing aspect of what I bring to the world. And as you can imagine, that really watered down my methods, my medicine, everything. So even me standing up before all of you today, channeling like I'm about to do and providing these activations in this alchemy is quite the growth from 3 to 5 years ago. So thank you for this opportunity. But I definitely have walked in many of your shoes or something similar, and I completely understand and totally empathize with a lot of the issues that we're bringing up today. So I believe in New Earth, we are all meant to see ourselves as captains of our own ships. And so a lot of the framework of the work that Creator and I provide is to help kind of call your higher self, the embodiment of your inner presence, call that more to the forefront into action. So normally I don't ask you to list off all of your struggles. Not that we bypass it, but I have this theory that if we're complaining, we're not creating what we desire. And so I tend to stay away from pain points. I feel like in business marketing, it's a little overused. And I'm really focused on our goals, where we're going, the world we're creating, the environment we want to be in. And so this particular medicine, the divine explained to me, we have to create the stopping point, we have to acknowledge what's holding us back or preventing us from showing up as the truth of who we truly are or where we want to be. Yeah. So if nobody has any more questions, I'm going to get this alchemy session started, start channeling some divine support and putting together this Arcturian grid. Are you happy for us to do that? Ready, ready, ready? Water? I'm just waiting for a thumbs up or something in the comments just to make sure we are good, golden, and going. Yeah? Good. Okay. We got somebody who's excited. Awesome. Creator, it is commanded that you surround each person on this live stream and the replay in the most beautiful white light of protection available. creators asking to have access to your vortex now. There are some of you who are ready and available for divine abundance or to receive blessings. And so if you're open to receiving that, Creator and I are going to activate that avalanche for you now. Beautiful. Thank you for saying yes. For those of you who did, I'm going to invite the Arcturians in now to activate this interstellar grid. We have been placing beautiful codes and activations into the interstellar codex. It's a diamond grid. We've been doing this since July. And the divines also asked me to open up this space and add the Omega codes and the work that we're going to be doing inside this grid. So it will not only be beneficial to you, but it'll be beneficial to anyone who steps in to receive those codes from the Interstellar Codex. These codes are available to you for free inside the Lightworkers activation. If you've not already begun to receive them, I'll leave the link for that below. But I just want you to understand what we're doing. We're patching in this grid work. Thank you to the Arcturians, the Lyrans, the Palladians. The angelic realm is lighting up this space, providing a filtration system. This is actually in a diamond shape. Each grid has its own shape. Some of you might start to pick up or sense on these frequencies and codes. A lot of the codes inside the Interstellar Codex is for courage and divine abundance, understanding your soul's gifts and unique soul signature, so that you can step more into your power and know who you truly are. We're infusing this entire beautiful grid of transformation and technology with Creator's download frequency of unconditional love. And all of those of you who say yes to receiving it right now, you will also receive a download from Creator, Source, God of unconditional love. And if anyone needs healing, physical, emotional, mental, you can ask for total healing inside this download now. Some of you might start to feel that in the top of your head, in the back of your neck, or even your heart. I'm hearing that some of you are receiving a bit of a tune-up and upgrade on your intuition center, your heart space, so that you can acknowledge and receive divine guidance better. Pick up on the sensations, the signals when Source is aiming to guide you to around obstacles and into better timelines. So if you're open to receiving that, say yes. All right, Creator Source wants me to talk about the Omega codes a little bit more. So for some of you who might be familiar with the Greek letter of the alphabet as the where Omega has been assigned to, but the symbology that the divine showed me for the Omega codes is actually a big fat O, a big fat circle with actually a dot in it, a big dot in it. And the divine said this is supposed to be almost like a bullseye without the outer rings. And this is supposed to be almost like a period at the end of a sentence to create that pause, to stop. So I kind of want to just hold you in a space where the divine, where Creator, where your guardian angels, spirit guides, or galactic helpers can give you a sense or a semblance, an idea of what this code or this frequency looks like, what it feels like. Some of you may get a message just bringing it into your space. So I'm going to ask Creator to activate the Omega code inside your energy field now. And at the same time, I'm going to ask Creator to also activate the violet flame of transmutation, the white flame for purification, and the gold flame for alchemy for this session. Beautiful. I'm being shown divine helpers positioned at each point of this grid. So for those of you who like to know who is involved and who is helping us, I am seeing Goddess Isis, Archangel Michael, Archangel Sandalphon, and I actually see Merlin and Archangel Raphael at the North Node at the top. So I'm welcoming and thanking them for holding this grid and creating this space and this technology for this transformation for all of us. Okay, I'm actually getting location points for these corners also. So that means that these are spiritual locations that are adding dimensions and frequencies and technology to this grid work that we're playing in right now. They've given me Lemuria, Sedona, Atlantis, and Uluru. I feel like there are more pinpoints for this grid system, but these are the ones that are being activated inside this alchemy session today. The divine wants you to understand the reason why we have these guardians in place and these anchor points is so that this grid work and the alchemization that you're going to experience today, so that it gets anchored, so that it becomes actualized, so that you actually take action and manifest and see items manifest in your experience. Okay. Okay, so Creator says they want to start working with each one of you. So I'm going to ask you right now if you're open to moving your body. Fantastic. Thank you. That's wonderful. Let's play. If not, I appreciate your non-judgment around this. So the way the source is showing me, we're going to start out with the big O, kind of above your head. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is the Omega code dropping into your experience. And I want you to remember to think about the reference that you provided earlier about the items or things that you want to be rid of, that you want to walk away from, that you want to stop. And kind of almost imagine that it's on the tip of your tongue. And this Omega code is dropping in. And the divine is asking you to picture or imagine or sense the frequency of this Omega code moving around and through your subconscious, through your frontal lobe, cleaning out your vortex to eliminate anything that was already manifested and on its way to you that was a match for something that you're trying to be rid of. This Omega code is literally cleaning out the words that you've spoken to yourself, the thoughts that you've had that have been consuming and defeating, bringing this Omega code down into your heart space. This is a very high frequency. So I ask you to please consider moving around while you receive this. And when you are guided or directed to a specific place, mine's asking to go to my solar plexus. Stay with it. Some of you may even be guided to Om while you receive this. Some of you may even be coughing up or clearing. Om. Feeling this Omega code frequency moving throughout your body, breaking up the resistance the fear, the need or desire to control, to have all the answers, the thoughts of you defeating yourself, the decisions that don't serve your highest good, releasing, and asking this Omega Code to give you the pause to clear this out. I'm being even guided to do all the way down to my toes. So I'm going to disappear for a minute, bringing the Omega Code down, ankles. These are our movement centers. In New Earth, we use our legs like ice skates so that we pivot gracefully. And if you're resistant to change, you probably need the Omega Code down at your legs and your ankles and your feet. And if your body is needing more nourishment and movement in your life, you may want to use the Omega Code around your hips, your buttocks, or your abdomen area. If you're concerned about your safety or financial welfare, definitely think about the root chakra areas. The divines want me to ask some of you about the tinglings that you may be having in your chest. Okay, good. Rachel's got goosebumps. Thank you for sharing. The divine wants to talk about the tinglings in your chest. For those of you who might be experiencing that, these Omega codes break up resistance to receiving your desires. Somebody's feeling it in their throat and they have tears. Awesome. Clearing. If you find or believe that you might have a challenge receiving, then I might invite you to imagine the Omega codes moving around your shoulder blades or in your back. This is actually the receiving receptacle. A lot of people think it's heart, but it's actually in the back, and that's why we'll get sore if we don't feel supported. So breaking up a lot of that. And anything that's been constant, like a habit, going, and you want to repeat a pattern. The divine's actually offering what looks almost like a white veil. Not a bridle, but it's a white, it looks like a cloth or silk kind of wrap that will allow you to have new beginnings, to step out in a new way, declaring what you want, kind of have a new presence, a new attitude with new goals. And it encompasses all of you because all of you has to go with you on this new beginning. I'm watching these Omega codes break chains that people might have felt in their resistance to transforming or experiencing a new life. In some way, they were deeply attached to or committed to something that no longer served them, or they were slaves to a system that was not benefiting them. The divine saying that some of you have a resistance to consistency and that have been confusing that for monotony. So there's an Omega code breaking up this relationship. Consistency. What the divine would like to make available in this message is that consistency can mean safety and stability so that you can step out bolder or in a different way, step out of your comfort zone and be taken care of. So what the divine is breaking up is the monotony that somebody was tying to the idea of consistency. If that resonated for somebody, feel free to let me know. Fazila's yawning. Your style of release. I'm just going to activate what we've been sharing, talking about, and doing inside of this diamond grid. The Arcturians are also asking me to share with you that there is technology available inside of my programs. We go through a lot of technology, but the specific one they want me to share with you right now. Okay, people are getting big reactions out of this. This is resonating. Yes, thank you, Kendra. And somebody's having heart palpitations. Just breathe and relax into that. The divine's adjusting your ability to receive your desires. Thank you. Yeah, the Arcturians want me to tell you about this healing chamber. You have the option to spend the night in your own healing chamber. This is an Arcturian technology offered to us. There's only one chamber available for each human body. It's your very own. It is coded with your soul's signature frequency. So you only become more you while you're in there. Or you can ask for healing and restoration, or to have other codes activated to help you be, I don't know, more mature, more responsible, more engaging in a social setting, more spontaneous, whatever it is that you might be looking to create or desire to create within yourself. The healing chamber is wonderful at helping us really activate these codes and releasing resistance. So the way that I use that is each night before I go to sleep, obviously I give thanks for all the good that I have in my life. And then I ask the Arcturians to lovingly place me inside my healing chamber. Sometimes I have mermaid stuff going on in there. Sometimes I have unicorn things. It's almost like my own teenage or little girl bedroom. Sometimes there's light codes in there. It's really just based around whatever my mood is. And the idea is that you are able to move through your transitions and accelerate your growth without hangovers from these big codes, and to really embody, to really implant these big codes. And as I said, the omega codes that you're all receiving access to today, and you can continue to call on them and activate them for yourself. You don't need another facilitator. You can be your own facilitator just by asking or commanding them. The Arcturian healing chamber really helps us to release a lot of resistance, and it can be a daily useful tool. A lot of my clients use it. Somebody else said they're boiling hot and yawning too. Yawning is a definite release when you're receiving a lot of high voltage energy. You love the Arcturian healing chamber. Awesome. Yeah, I think I've been using it for about 1.5 years, and it really allowed me to integrate upgrades gracefully. A lot of my energy medicine is really lofty for my clients, and so it was really important that I give them tools to be able to maintain their daily lives and receive those large doses of energy medicine. And so the Arcturians were like, hey, we've got something for you. Why don't you try this? I've gotten no negative feedback or side effects from it. It's been a real good time for the imagination and for the physical body and the energy body. A lot of my clients, before I started using the healing chamber, they were having almost like fritzing out episodes, because again, the amount of energy medicine inside my transformations is pretty dramatic. And Fazila says she uses the healing chamber every night, almost every night. Yes, beautiful tool. All right, let me just check in, see if there's anything else that they would like to share with us. Okay, so they're also asking, before we close out, they would like me to hold space, throw the energy, the frequency, the vibration up there for each of you to receive a message from your own divine support team about what you alchemized today, what you assigned the Omega codes for. So if you would like to receive a message from your own divine support team, I'm going to go into Theta and turn up the Wi-Fi so that you can see, sense, hear, feel, and know them better and receive that message. So please, if you don't mind, take a deep breath with me, all the way into the tummy area, deep breath. And Creator, can you assign the most loving and beneficial and aligned messenger to each participant in this live stream to provide them wisdom, clarity, guidance, or advice around the items placed in the Omega Alchemy session today? If anybody wants to share the message that they received today from their guides, from their teachers, from your healing angels or your divine support team, feel free to share it, but you also don't have to. I was shown a beautiful purple heart. It looked like Merlin had kind of drawn it in the air between all of us. So I'm just really grateful for that. And I was reminded about the numerology for today. If you guys didn't catch that, the date is 12/12/21. It comes out to 333. And from angel numbers, 333 can really represent the idea that you are surrounded by divine support. It can also represent the Holy Trinity. I had one of my first conversations with God on a 333 day, and it also equates to 9 in numerology for completion. So I pray that this alchemy session and this new earth code helps you with a more abundant timeline and showing up as who you truly desire and wish to be. And you're able to make the change in the world that you're aiming for. So for any of you who are interested in taking part in the Lightworkers activation, if you haven't yet, like I said, that's a free transmission. It's about 2 hours long. I wouldn't do it today. You'll probably need to go through, I would say, a 24, 48 hour period of integration from receiving this. But I'll put the link in the comments section. I guess I could do this now. Multitasking. There we go. School.com/light workers activation. Many of you may have already taken part, but if this resonates for you, you enjoy this, you might want to share this with a friend. It's a beautiful trans-channeled activation that I did last month, and so powerful. And it has a bunch more coding and frequencies in there for for New Earth Magic. So does anybody have any questions? My birthday equals 9, my favorite number. You are free is what I heard. That's beautiful, Rachel. You're so welcome, Kendra. My honor. I appreciate you guys joining me today. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. I pray that you go outside. In that New Earth, the Lightworkers activation, we received an activation and a message from Gaia that she would always protect and support us. And there was an activation in there so that every time we would go outside or spend time outside communing with nature, that we would have a profound interaction with nature. And she has not failed to disappoint. I took a 7 a.m. walk this morning and went down by the lake that we have here. And there was a beautiful heart-shaped leaf floating on the water as it went by me. And I was like, oh, Gaia, I love it. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. Yeah. So thank you for sharing your message, Rachel. If nobody has any questions for me, I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of your day. I'm so curious to hear your feedback in the next day, 2 or 7, about these Omega codes. Please, please, I love to celebrate great, great stories. So if you want to share your progress, thank you, Source. Yes, you just finished. Somebody just finished this before the call. Yeah, you need the Arcturian healing chamber tonight. Well, I'm really grateful to share that with you. You're so welcome. I'm just going to kind of close out access to all of you, passing you off to Creator Source and wrapping you in so much gratitude, love, and light. And enjoy those Omega codes for stopping, pausing, anything that you want to end. Okay? Love you. Bye.